Hello my freaky darlings, good to see you again. I thought this time I would delve down into the depths of my brain and just share some really weird dreams that I've been having with you. Usually I don't sleep too well. I have very broken sleep and then I find it really hard to wake up and then stay awake. But yeah, I usually get tossing and turning during the night with nightmares of all sorts of different things and pain and whatnot. So yeah, last week I actually had some normal dreams. Normal. So I thought that was really rare for me because they weren't nightmares, and that was kind of cool to not have that. But yeah, I thought I'd share them with you, and you can psychoanalyze me all you want and write down in the comments what you think my dreams might mean. If you're into that sort of dream interpretation thing, it could be quite interesting to see what you guys think. So where would we start? We'll start with number one was, it was really weird. I was lost and I needed to get about, I don't know, 500 or so miles south of where I was. And I had to try and go and line up and book for a airfare, but that turned out to be way too expensive. So I couldn't afford it, so I thought I really need to get home. And it was the middle of the night, so I decided I would hitch a ride on the side of the road. So I went out to the side of the road and it was all misty and foggy, and there was, like, looking down the road you could see all these trees sort of making a tunnel and all the mist coming through. It looked kind of spooky and kind of cool. It had a really cool aesthetic, kind of, you know, what you'd see in a graveyard at, you know, dusk and all the mist rising through it. It just looked really groovy. And at the time I sort of looked down there and thought, well, maybe I shouldn't be hitching a ride. But I thought, oh, screw it. So I put my thumb out and this car came along, and it was like a flatbed little truck thing with this guy inside. And he says, yeah, where are you headed to? And I says, I need to go south about 500 miles or so. And he's like, oh, sweet, well, I'm heading that way anyway, jump in. So I did, you know, full and better judgment and everything aside. So we're driving along, we're having a little bit of a chit chat, and it was all really good. And then I heard screaming and thumping and banging and yelling coming from the back of his truck. And I asked him what was going on, and I got, you know, a bit funny, and he realised that I had heard it, so he pulls over to the side of the road, and I said, you know, I heard that noise, and he goes, oh, yeah, maybe you should get out, maybe we need to have a talk. And he was looking kind of dubious, and I thought, oh great, you know, he's a psycho killer and he's got people tied up in the back or whatever. And it turns out he took me around the back of his truck and he showed me, and he actually did have people tied up in the back of his truck, and he had kidnapped them, and I think it was his wife and his son or something. It was really weird. So anyway, I turned to him and I said, honey, you have no idea. Let's get back in the truck. Which is so out of character for me. But anyway, so we got back in the truck and we're driving, and yeah, basically I was going to help him avoid the cops and all the rest of it. So anyway, the dream meandered on and on it went. So yeah, feel free to delve into that one. I mean, I was really into the idea of kidnapping people and tying them up and putting them in the back of this guy's truck. I thought it would be a fun trip. So yay! Dream number two was, I guess I've been watching too much YouTube, but I had a dream where I was in my flat when I was younger, and I looked across the road, and Caligo, is that how you say it? Caligo Bastet, the YouTube guy that was from Israel and he's moved to Germany, he was teaching out on his front lawn. He was teaching a class how to twirl a baton. And that was really cool. So I went over there and I had, you know, a look, and I was being nosy and I said hi, and I was watching this class, and he was actually videoing the class, and he was going to sell it as a tutorial online on how to twirl batons and throw them up in the air, and you know, that sort of stuff. Was really cool. So that was number two. And then, like, only 2 nights after that, I actually had a dream where I was in a resort and I had booked a holiday with an all-inclusive travel package where you go to this resort and you get pampered. And part of the resort was to go on this cruise where you went whale watching and then you went fishing and different, you weren't fishing the whales, but yeah. Anyway, the funny thing is it's Black Friday, aka Freya, came on the cruise with us. And I was like, okay, cool. So we hung out and we got to know each other and it was really groovy. And I got free beauty products given to me from the hotel we stayed at. And I remember waking up in the morning and neither It's Black Friday or myself had washed our makeup off the night before, which is very uncharacteristic, I hear from her, because she always does that, but I'm a lazy bum. I can't be bothered. And I remember waking up in the morning and looking at her in the kitchen, and she was all smudged and I was all smudged, and we just cracked up laughing. And yeah, so that was dream number 3. So yeah, feel free to delve on into my subconscious crazy mind and tell me what you think about my 3 really weird dreams that weren't nightmares. So number 1 was I was in a truck with a guy hitchhiking and I really got into the idea of tying up people in the trunk and travelling and avoiding cops and, you know, getting in on it with this guy. Number 2 was baton twirling with Caligo Bastet. And number 3 was going on a cruise to watch some whales with It's Black Friday. So, hey, have a field day, get on in there. And until next time, I guess I'll hear from you in the comments. You can look me up on Facebook and my other social sites and stuff. And yeah, enjoy your shadows. Bye. Caligo Bastet, and I was watching him do baton twirl. Shit. People were screaming, and I looked at the guy, and he looked at me, and it was oh shit. I'm really fucked up. Oh, God. To psychoanalyze me and get into my brain. Get into my brain. That's a really stupid thing to say. Screw it.